Now, in terms of like when people with low self-esteem, and so I also notice sometimes that maybe there's people that kind of were on the fence. They wanted to change, but they also didn't want to change because maybe there was some benefits to staying where they were. And sometimes we have to apply this like change behavior psychology that we learned in coaching people. Have you noticed that you've been able to employ some of that over the last few years as well, like helping people to push past this sort of ambivalence about making change and helping them to start to take some action?
Yeah, I think, some of it comes from like the fear unknown, especially if they like identify with this is how I've always been. How could I be someone else? And it goes with, weight loss, or if someone's always, always had, always walked with a cane because of an injury or whatever, and that's who they identify with. I'm now someone with a disability, right? And to kind of
Mm-hmm.
work with those people to show them that change is still possible, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
uh, but knowing that, okay, it's going to take some time. It's not an overnight fix either,
Mm-hmm. So
but
trying to
gradually getting there.
Yeah, I think it was something that I valued learning in the whole process. How to help people stay motivated, stay consistent. Because oftentimes it's that was all that was needed. They need to just keep going and not give up on themselves, which a lot of people end up doing when they don't have somebody in their corner and somebody keeping them accountable.
Yeah, or they just see the overall end goal. They're not breaking it. If you work with a professional, they break it up into smaller steps, kind of like build up on a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but most people, they're just looking at that end result, and if they didn't achieve it, then it must not work for me, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's that shift in mindset that we have to, like that shift in perspective that we have to help these people to garner, right?
Yeah, and all comes down to like that goal setting, um, breaking down the goal into smaller goals that are achievable, and
Mhm.
this is everything an exercise professional would know, right? It all comes down to
Exactly. Yeah.
SMART goals.
You used to rock those smart goals. You're great at those.
I still do them.
And actually, that's probably a good segue because I there's a lot of people that I know or that may be listening that had injuries and stuff. And of course, without knowing specifics, we don't want to give specific advice. But there are things that people can start with that are safe for almost anybody, right? So, what are some of like I guess the initial suggestions you might have with people either setting goals or just getting started with something?
Yeah, so when it comes to, like, for instance, activity, I always kind of try to let people know, like, pick something you enjoy or that you like to do. Um, you know, I can give you information like what's, for instance, um, what's better, but ultimately that doesn't matter. If you don't like that better option, you're not going to do it. So if
Mm-hmm.
if we're talking about someone with weight loss, and they want to start doing cardio, yeah, you know what, running is probably better than walking. Am I going to say that's what you have to do? No, you're going to do what you like to do, whether that's maybe you like to dance or swim, whatever. We got to focus on what you enjoy, what you have accessibility to,
Mm-hmm.
what's feasible for you to start implementing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then break it down further. Again, we can give education on how much is needed, but we need to know, like, what can you commit to today? What's realistic for you?
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter what the gold standard might be. We have to find out what you're currently able to do, what you have the opportunity to do, and just start with something.
Exactly. Now, if someone says, I want to lose weight, but not get physically active because they have no interest, and they're not going to change their nutrition because they have no interest there, then yeah, as an exercise professional, we can say, well, that's going to be quite the challenge because I don't know what else we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can provide them some information there, but otherwise, you work with the client with what they can
Mm-hmm.
bring forth.
Yeah. And I think something to reflect on what you said earlier, you said breaking the goal into smaller segments. I think what I was really excited to learn about over the last, 5-10 years is that you can break up your activity into smaller segments. So even if you do 10-minute bouts throughout the day to get to the 30 minutes or however many you want to need to get to in a day, that has the same effect in doing 30 minutes all at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. So you can do 10 minutes as a minimum to get you started. And then, as the exercise professional, you think, okay, that's going to start helping them build that foundation. And as they get into it, maybe see that they've established a routine, they're finding it successful. You can maybe probe from there to see, do you want to do a little bit longer? And
Mhm.
if not, if that's not what your schedule allows, well, that's fine. It's still effective.
Yeah, and majority of the benefit to your health happens in the first, let's say, 150 minutes or so in a week of somewhat moderate to vigorous activity, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you give an example, if you like to dance or something like that, like 10 minutes is like three songs for some people, right? So I think you can break that down to three times three songs in a day, and you're getting moving, you're getting started, and that might be what the spark that you needed to just start to roll into something more challenging in the future.
For sure. And what I would say for clients is that they just have to have an open mind. Let us know with like what their passions are, what their likes, dislikes are, what they have availability to, and then we can start brainstorming, how to start moving the needle.
Mhm. There's not always just one way to get there, right?
For sure.